This is funny. I've had that in Scotland with sheep. I did not have it with cows yet. And to be honest, I don't know what to do, if you go past it or not, or if you break the line. Because I thought the cows always wanted to stay together, right? Let's see what happens if I do this. I'm a little bit scared. I'm so sorry. Don't be scared of me. I'm just passing through. It's like they waited, right? Oh. Survived yet another stampede. Oh. This is what makes a biker so excited. I just want to take a second to take it in. But then my navigation just said, nah, you're gonna do another one. Hello. At least you get to see a little bit more of the Stelvio. But this is actually the best view that I can give you. That was freaking awesome. It feels like coming home somehow. And a very good morning to you as we are starting day 4. And the reason that I'm immediately start recording the second I leave my hotel is because you need to look at the Millstadter Zee, how blue it is. And that's my view for the beers in the evening and also for breakfast in the morning. But I'm on the side of a hill, so it immediately goes up and down. Look at that view. Very lovely. The only thing is my navigation already thinks that I'm at the end. But we are not at the end. We are just getting started because I have a very excited day for you. Day 4 was supposed to be the northern side of the hill. I'll probably do that tomorrow because I switched them due to the weather. There is bad weather coming. Yesterday we had some bad weather as well in the evening, which is perfectly fine because I was already back, and probably the same will happen today, but for Monday they don't know it yet. So for day 5. So that's why I switched it around, because today we're going to Slovenia. And I'm really looking forward to this because I couldn't do it 3 years ago. Let me just find the right route. I couldn't do it 3 years ago, so therefore I'm just happy to be able to do it now. It won't be a long one, it's only about 6 hours, but it will bring us through 3 countries, Austria, Slovenia and Italy. And a couple of mountain passes with names that I cannot even pronounce. I was looking this morning on the GPS, was like, yeah, I'm not gonna try, I'll probably just post a picture of it later. Lots of mountain passes. I got all my vignettes and all the paperwork here because also in Slovenia you have to pay toll. And as you can see, the weather and the sky is blue, so I'm sure that we'll have an amazing day. I will check in with you very, very soon. So we just got off the highway. You can still see the train lane behind me. I was hoping that we could see a little bit more of the lake that I'm staying at, but for some reason where the highway was, that was not possible. But at the end of the day, we'll drive past it anyway. So, why am I so excited about today? As you can tell, or maybe already seen, I don't have suitcases. I'm staying here for 3 nights, which means that I have 2 days without any luggage, which obviously makes the ride a little bit more interesting because you can go a little bit more faster because it's easier to make turns. Pass. That's the one. I can still pronounce that one, just not the mountain, the name of the mountain that we're going on. And there we have it, the first hairpin bin of the day. And I could have taken this one faster. It's always the first one, right? For some reason. And just like that, we are entering Slovenia. As you can see back there, there were some bunkers and also a tank outside and some anti-tank stuff. There's actually a Second World War bunker here. So that's good to know. So if you look here on the right, you see those really, really high mountains. Well, I'm already going to say we're not going to go all the way up there, but at least we're going quite some way up there. The last time I drove in Slovenia was many years ago in a car. It was at the coastline, nothing even remotely like this. But yeah, it drives the same as in Austria or Switzerland at the moment. I did hear somebody say that there are a lot of roads where there's just like this one stony pole on the side and then you go straight down. I don't know if that's true. We'll probably figure it out later today. So just stay calm, drink a Weizenbier, a white beer, and everything will be all right. I understand why so many people celebrate their holidays here. Just look, it's a really neat, naturey area. You're still high because we're definitely not all the way down. But this is a really nice lake with a beach, and I don't know if it's swimmable, but if you see the amount of cars that are currently recreating here, looks very, very busy. A lot of hikers too. That's a nice view. I was not expecting that. It's always fun when you're exploring, right? That's funny, they're actually also counting all the turns and twists that you have on this pass. And I saw it before, I think it was in Gotthard, where they have like these cobblestones everywhere. In these kind of better conditions, that's not an issue whatsoever, but especially when it's wet, I can imagine that's slippery. Wow. I don't mind the cobblestones as long as the road is a little bit more straight than that. If you have hole after hole after hole, you can't really look where you're going because you also need to keep an eye on the road in front of you. So road quality wise, could have been a little bit better, I guess. At least we're climbing a lot, let me tell you. Already at curb number 12 and we're only driving here for about 10 minutes. You know, I have 4 in a row. And like I said, road conditions could have been better, but it is kind of fun. It is a challenge, that's the thing. But it does come close to exercising. This has to be like one of the most challenging passes I've done. It's a lot of technique involved. If you can do this, you'll definitely know how to ride a bike in mountain conditions. Yeah, that doesn't work that way. So we're almost on the top of the Svešnik, and I'm probably saying that wrong, but I don't mind, I'm trying at least. I have to say, from all the passes that I've done, and it's also probably because of the traffic, the high amount of traffic and the narrow road, but in the condition of the road, this must have been one of the toughest passes that I've ever done. I'm uber proud of myself. But yeah, even the sheep is uber proud. But it's so narrow, there are holes in the road that you need to keep in account. And then also with the traffic, sometimes you're just standing still on a ramp like this. You just need to deal with it. I hope that I got a lot of it on camera because that was amazing. I need a little break just because my clutch and my hand, at one point you start to feel it. But yeah, this feels like a workout even. It's freaking amazing. I'm now wondering what the rest will bring on the other side. And I also don't know how Italy will be. If it's anything like the Stelvio on the other side, then I hope that the Dolomites are also going to be like that. Everything should be fine, and then this is the roughest day so far, but yeah, hashtag proud. There are so many stickers on top of the sign that you can't even see it. Look at all the bikers here as well, going for little hikes and stuff. So many people everywhere, unbelievable. But look at that view. Now I knew I was going up the hill. Look at that. And if you realize it, and that's the crazy part, if you go around that one mountain, we're going up there, like all the way up there. Unbelievable. This never gets tired. It's amazing. It always makes me smile so much. I feel very blessed about the fact that I can do this. I have the means to explore new places like this. You know, it needs to be the one thing to trust on, is that the road conditions are actually good. I remember at Gran Canaria, I was one time riding, and they have a lot of forest fires almost every year. But at one point it was so bad, I think it was a ranger that set it on fire, because then he only had a temporary job and he wanted to show that he was necessary, but then a massive chunk of the island got burned down. And I got there a couple of months after, and I was driving in this forest where like 3 on every 5 trees were black and burned. But even the plastic poles on the side of the road were melted, and then also the asphalt was melted. I don't even want to know how many times my ABS and my traction control had to help me that day in order to get down the hills. It wasn't even up, it was also down. If I should have done that down, that would have been so much more difficult. You know you're going steep down whenever you get close to the edge. You already see like 2 levels below you, because that's the thing that's happening right here. That is so cool. Those are really old though. And very smoky. So talking about, say, speeds, you notice that they are going way faster than me, right? First of all, it's not a race, but second of all, they are used to this. Like everybody that lives in Austria, Switzerland, they can have bags on the back, they can have a person on the back, they can have all of that, and then still they outrun you by double the speed. Not every rider is the same, and they have the full experience, like completely, right? From beginning to end. If you ride this daily and you don't know any better, then yeah, of course you go faster. So, ground rule, if there's behind you and they're pushing, just let them pass. Because trust me, you will have such better of a great time by doing that. So we made it all the way back to the valley. If you can see the mountain behind me, that's the actual one that we went all the way down from. So not the actual top, but just below the snow line. That was where we came down. It was 49 turns the entire way down. Or up and down, I should say. So we're now down below. I wouldn't say sea level, but there is water here. In order to get to the next mountain to go up. Don't ask me to pronounce the name. Like I said, I'll post a picture after this of all the tops and the mountains that we passed today. I don't know how to pronounce it, to be honest. Is that Sosa or Soka? I think that's the reason why I have so much issues pronouncing it, because the thing that's above the sea, I've seen it before, but just our language doesn't have it. And you've heard me speak German in the last couple of days. I'm actually from the Netherlands, which is a completely different language. So if somebody could hit me up in the comments as to how to pronounce that one, I would really be grateful. So this is going to be the highest mountain for today that we're going to do. Just all the way back up. And because it's only a one-way up and down, You'll see everything like this a second time when we head back. At least the road conditions look a little bit better than the other one. And there is a barrier on one side. Woohoo! That's already more than what we had. Hallo. Dankeschön. So also here you need to pay toll. It was only 10 euros, so it was not too bad. As long as the road is okay, I'll be fine with it. This is a very interesting pass to do. Also, I spoke too soon about the rail. There is no rail. You can see all the way down where we were. Beautiful. So I'm just gonna be very, very honest. I don't know how to pronounce it. I have it here in front of me. I would make something of it like a Mangartska cesta, which is the mountaintop here. You had to pay toll in order to get here, but the road conditions are really nice. Normally, you would go up there. So like all the way to the top, there's like this circle where you can drive and also sit and everything. But as you can see, there's a lot of cars here. Reason, they had a stone drop here. So the road has been blocked, so they are not letting any people going up or down. Unfortunately, because yeah, I wanted to see it. But however, it gives me a reason to go back. I want to look into the valley, so I'm going to drive a little bit down because I actually saw a good parking spot that actually shows that. So I'll be back in a second. So this is actually the best view that I can give you, because we were up there, but then you kind of look against the rocks instead of actually down. But if you see here all the way down, there's this light spot. That's probably the only thing that you will see. That's all the way where we came. And then we went around this mountain and we came from the other one next door. You can see that there's a little bit of clouds against it. There was rain predicted, but it actually, if overall, it actually looks very, very nice, because if it would really be raining, it would look a whole lot darker. But yeah, this was exciting. How challenging the other one was, the nicer this one was. Like I said, I don't mind paying toll as long as the roads are nice and the conditions are good, because yeah, I'd rather do it safe than anything else. I'm going to take a little bit of a break. I have some drinks and some food with me, and then we're going to slowly go down. After we go down, we take a right turn and we are actually going to drive into Italy, where we do 2 passes as well before heading back to Austria again. I think from here it's probably roughly going to be around 3.5 hours, so I see this as the midpoint. If we see some food down the road, we'll probably stop for that as well. So we're now heading back down, as you can see. And we're going to take our time, due to that it's a very narrow path here. I need to be careful for when a car comes around the corner and be able to brake immediately. So keep it in gear, in a low gear, so that you don't have to apply your brakes all the time, because your brakes will definitely become warm and get irritated. But as long as you're in a low gear with some rotations, you should be fine. I actually have the feeling that those are the 2 bikers that I was also coming up with, from the looks of it. Yeah, those are them. funny. So this is the border crossing of Slovenia together with Italy, where we are going in now. Look at that view. With the entire lake. Dankeschön. Look at that view. We just came from up there, actually, coming down. I also have a feeling that sometimes you start recognizing certain bikes, you know, or groups of bikes. Because I would have sworn that I saw those two already. So it's now literally going steep down. And in order to do that, they built all these tunnels. But every time when you drive into a tunnel, you can't see which twist or turn it is, or in which direction it goes. So the 30 here is actually, yeah, it's necessary. The only thing though, I need to take the right, but I'm going to take left because I saw that there was a gas station there and I need some petrol. Also, one thing that I almost forgot, there's not that many petrol stations here. So I still have enough, but I just don't want to risk it that I become empty between here and back home. So, wow, this is a hell of a storm drain, by the way. Yeah, this is not helping. This is actually already the third station that I saw like this. Just weird, there's not that many petrol stations, so you would assume that they would make a decent amount. But that's why you never go fully empty, because then I would be fucked by now. There is absolutely nothing here. I still have about 100 kilometers left, so let's hope that I can make that. I see petrol, yay! Let's hope that it works on a Sunday. Super Senza. I have to admit, pulling petrol in Italy always, I find a little bit scary. Because the thing is, you use your bank card, and I can't read the language, but I can assume what they're saying. So you put in your bank card, and then it says it will reserve about 100 euros for you. Is that okay? And then you put in your PIN code, and then it says you can start pulling gas, or at least I assumed that was, but you still needed to press the button. That looks a little bit weird. Well, I'm happy it is completely empty. I'm very happy that I found this one because it wasn't on the TomTom. So I'm full again, so that's a worry less as we are starting the last two passes. I do need to hydrate more. I already noticed I have a half a liter back in with me, so I'm taking a little bit of a break and then we're moving on again. I recently had a little bit of a bet. Well, it wasn't a bet, but we wanted to see how much calories you would burn while motorbiking versus the normal bike. And we looked, and it was quite extensive. If you would have a normal bike, it would be between 300 and 600 calories an hour. If you're biking with a motorbike, it's between 100 and 400. I never would have imagined. So it's not only that, but if you look at my back right now, it is 29, 30 degrees, and it's warm. Because you're moving and you're shaking your hips the entire time, it is half a workout, I have to admit. That's also probably the reason why I'm always hungry. But yeah, sometimes I do sugar drinks in between just to get that up again.
you need to stay hydrated, because I noticed that I was dehydrated a little bit. I'm still looking for a lunch spot. We passed something, but it didn't look all that great. So maybe I'll wait until we get back in Austria and just look up something there. Schnitzel sounds nice. So let's see if we can find it.
Beautiful sights though. Yeah, this reminds me more of an actual pass, you know? Melted snow up here. Some restaurants as well up above. 19 degrees, so about 12 less than what was down on the ground. And a gorgeous view. If you could only feel how steep it goes down from here. It's like 6 hairpins in a row. So on the other side of the mountain we got up pretty fast, but then it kind of stabilized. This one is just straight down. So I'm trying to stay focused on the road because the road conditions are also not optimal. But whatever you can say, I'm still having fun. Where I'm going over, you can't really call it a pass even when it has a top on the mountain that we just saw. But it's more like a shortcut to get from one valley to the next. And on this side the road is actually better. So now it's relaxed driving again. Oh, this is fun. Cows everywhere. And there you have it, the Mangartska Zee. It's not glowing in the sun right now, I hope to get that tomorrow, but it is massive. And I think that's also why there's so much tourism here, because it really looks nice and lovely. I got some beautiful pictures from a couple of years back actually, to be honest. So we're just passing Mangartska. It's not in the sun right now, but perhaps we'll have that tomorrow. I do have beautiful pictures from here, from up above, that shows that perfectly. So I'm getting very close at the end of this trip again. There's rain predicted and I can see that there's some rain coming, so I hope that I keep it dry. I just love today. That was exploring. Also in Slovenia, like with the motorbike, is so much different. Especially with the roads are just different conditions. I never knew that the nature there was so beautiful, and I do hope that I have that on camera too. But all in all, that one this morning was the most difficult ride I've ever done. Like, it was the road conditions together with being so busy, with the cars and standing still, like on these kind of slopes. Yeah, that really was something. And especially after yesterday, the little accident. I know it's just a suitcase, but it gets in your head anyway, so you try to stay a little bit more safe and take less risk in order to get home safely. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe below the video, because it's really helping with my channel. And I hope to see you for the next one. Stay safe, everyone. I have to admit, I'm very fortunate. Behind me it's getting darker and darker, so that also means that the rain is finally here. I only got a few drops and I made it home safely. So perfect timing, I would say. Look at that waterfall. how massively big that is. I just want to take a second to take it in. There's absolutely nobody here because of the bad weather. It's windy here, but if you go down in the pass, there's absolutely no wind. But you can actually look through into the depths of the abyss. Which is fucking insane. Look. So let's see.